Hi beer lovers, I've got the ultimate showdown for you today. Can you pair British biscuits with beer? I'm Joanne, the beer school lady, and I teach beer lovers how to taste beer with confidence and to develop their knowledge of the world's favourite beverage. Welcome back to my channel. So recently I was challenged by someone on my Instagram to pair British biscuits with beer. Now, if you don't follow Pints and Panels on Instagram, I suggest you do. And Em from Pints and Panels did one this year that was Girl Scout cookies paired with beer. One of our followers decided to ask me if I could pair British biscuits with beer, so I've taken up the challenge for you today. I've got a selection of British biscuits. Here are the ones I chose. I literally went on and did my supermarket shop and I ordered a couple of variety packs and some of your standards. You got to get a packet of rich tea and a packet of regular digestives and see which beers I had in my fridge, and I've paired them for you today. Some are absolutely brilliant pairings, some I wasn't so fond of. Remember that we all taste differently and that you need to eat and drink things that you really enjoy. That's the whole point of beer tasting and of enjoying food. So by all means, try my pairings, but also if you want to test this out, get some of your favourite biscuits, get a variety of beers, maybe get your friends together and just see what things work for you, because everybody's taste buds are different. And as I always say, you are the expert of what you taste. What is your favourite biscuit or cookie? Let me know in the comments now. So let's dig into these biscuit and beer pairings. A classic digestive is going to have all of those kind of biscuity, malty flavours. I think this is going to go really well with a classic best bitter, which also has those kind of biscuity flavours from the malt. But the carbonation should clear away the palate quite nicely, and the hops might bring out some interesting flavours. Let's give it a go. So the digestive with the best bitter cancels out the maltiness and biscuit quality of the best bitter, but really pulls out the citrus notes of the beer. Even though this is from the bottle, it's got low carbonation, but I'm getting the hop character and the citrusy notes from it because the digestive has cancelled those out. The best bitter brings out the even more sweetness from the biscuit. This is a good match. I think a dark lager like this one from Pillars will go really well with a chocolate Viennese finger. Let's have a go. The beer's got a bit of caramelly, bready toastiness to it. I think it's going to go really well with the chocolate in this. So the biscuit knocks back a little bit of the sweetness in the beer, making it a bit more refreshing. The carbonation of the beer takes away from the richness of the biscuit. But because there's sweetness in this beer, it's bringing out the nice kind of dark bitter chocolate in this Viennese biscuit. This is a good pairing. You can't have a party without a party ring, but this is a very sweet biscuit. So with this, I'm thinking an unfruited goes. This will have coriander and salt in it. The coriander citrus notes are going to go well with the flavouring of the icing, but the acidity is going to cut through all of that sweetness. Give it a go. The sweetness knocks back the acidity of this beer and cuts through it, but equally the acidity cuts back on the sweetness of this. They're a really good balance. Unfruited goes for the win when you're having a party ring. This is a butter crunch. It's relatively simple in its flavours, but it's going to have butteriness and fat which needs cutting through. I've chosen a Belgian blonde ale because I'm hoping that there'll be a touch of spiciness that will pair well with the buttery flavours, but also the carbonation is going to cut through that fat. Looking lovely in the glass. So there's a richness to this biscuit, and the spiciness coming from the Belgian yeast just adds to the interest in this combination. But the carbonation cuts through the richness, making you want to drink and eat more. This is a good batch. Rich tea is another quite simple biscuit. They probably equate to graham crackers in the US. I thought this might go quite well with a Munich Hairless, and this is a local one near me from Boutiliers. Let's give it a go. It's a very sweet biscuit, but it's got a touch of bitterness to it. So the rich tea brings out almost a lemony quality from the malts that are used to make this Hairless lager. The carbonation cleans away the richness of the biscuit, making you want to drink some more. For science, let's try the Hairless with a digestive biscuit as well. This pairing doesn't work as well. The digestive is a lot sweeter, a lot maltier, and that's taking away from the beautiful, simple flavours of the Munich Hairless. Not a good match. Jam sandwich cream is my absolute favourite biscuit. We're going to try this with 2 different beers. We're going to try a fruited beer. This one, I believe, has raspberries and other red berries in it. And we're going to also try it with a Belgian wit beer. Here goes. Now, normally I like to twist these apart and eat them as 2 separate parts, but for this experiment, I will eat them as is. So the fruit beer adds that tiny blob of jam that's in the middle of this. Brings it all quite nicely together. The sweetness isn't overshadowed by the beer. The sweetness in the beer is brought out. You're knocking back a little bit of the acidity that comes from these beers. I'm enjoying this one. But I'm also a big fan of fruit beers. So take it how you like beers. Let's try it with the Belgian wit. The carbonation in the Belgian wit beer cleans away the jam and the richness of the cream that is in the middle of this jam sandwich biscuit. You then get a nice hit of the orange peel, coriander, spiciness from the Belgian yeast in this beer. I quite like this one. It's more subtle than the fruit beer, but that is quite nice. It's just kind of an interesting pairing. You get fruit, spice, sweetness. It's an interesting match. A custard cream is a standard British biscuit tin staple. It's a fairly basic biscuit with custardy flavoured cream inside. I couldn't decide what to pair with this, but then I thought I would try a saison. Now this one from Goose Island, Sophie, it's got a little bit of funk to it, so I'm going to see how that goes. Now that's interesting. So the sweetness in the biscuit brings out the earthiness of the beer and highlights that funkiness, which I really enjoy. This may not be a pairing for you if you don't enjoy funky beers. Let's also try the Custard Cream with a Belgian wit beer. Again, the Custard Cream is bringing out a little bit of earthiness, a bit of grainy malt, I think, from the wheat used in this beer. But then you get the spiciness and the coriander in this beer. That's an interesting match. Custard creams do interesting things to beer. Who knew? You can't forget the favourite chocolate digestive. Personally, I'm a big fan of a chocolate caramel digestive. They make the best millionaire's s'mores. But I think we need to try this with a beer. I've decided to pair it with a brown ale. This one is from Tool and it has got notes of nuts, coffee, chocolate and rich caramel. So I think either these are going to completely balance each other out or they're going to be a good match. Let's give it a go. This one smells very coffee, so it might go really well with the chocolate and the malt of this biscuit. The chocolate digestive really brings out the nuttiness and the coffee notes of this brown ale. This is a really delicious pairing. We can't forget the good old bourbon biscuit. So this one's going to have some bitterness about it. So I thought you had to pair it with an imperial stout. And I've chosen Dragon's Milk Bourbon Barrel Aged. So, you know, little note there to the name. Obviously not the same thing. Don't at me. But this is our biggest pairing. Let's give it a go. Even though the beer is really rich, it cuts through that cream in the middle of the bourbon biscuit. There's a bitterness to this biscuit that then brings out the coconut notes from the barrel aging on this beer. The beer's got a really lovely mouthfeel that kind of cleans everything away. This is a good match. Now, you're not going to want to do this on an evening during the week. This is definitely a weekend luxury match. One pairing that I tried off camera is a chocolate chip cookie with, this is a New England Pale, but it will also work with a New England IPA. The sweetness of the biscuit pairs really well with the soft notes of the Pale Ale or New England IPA. Brings out those vanilla notes that you sometimes get in it. The dots of dark bitter chocolate go really well with the fruitiness and the tropicalness. It's a match that just makes you want to drink and eat more. Definitely give this one a go if you've got a New England IPA in your fridge. Have you seen a beer and biscuit pairing that you're going to try? Hit that like button so I know that you found something that you're going to try. I think my absolute favourite was probably the party ring with an unfruited gose, but unfruited gose are quite difficult to come by. Also, I've really enjoyed the fruited beer with jam sandwich cream, but that's my ultimate biscuit, and one of my favourite beer styles, so it's not a surprise. I think that you could replace your evening cup of tea with a beer and a biscuit if you wanted to, but it's probably not going to become a regular occurrence. It is a fun thing to do though. If you want something else fun to do, check out my Etsy shop where I have beer tasting party kits and beer and chocolate pairing kits. The link will be in the video description. And if you want to learn more about pairing beer with food, check out the video that's on your screen now.